Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Nevermore campaign.
Right.
We are all here and accounted for, which is the most important thing, I think. It's wonderful seeing you all here, and I look forward to playing tonight's session with you. Hopefully you all live. I mean, you know, what could possibly go wrong?
I was going to say, why do you say that with
fine.
such trepidity? You know, like, I'm just
You all
like,
live,
we
it's
hope,
fine.
I hope you guys live. I mean, otherwise this is going to be like the shortest season of anything we've run. Even the BBC doesn't run series this short, guy.
I hope you have your backup characters ready, though, just in case.
Guy wouldn't kill me in 2 games, right?
Well, I would just like for the record, you did that all on your own.
I
I
did,
literally
no,
was
amazing.
desperately trying to stop that from happening. But anyway, here, well, we shall see a brief recap. Our heroes are on the run from some kind of thing that is not very pleasant. They were in a secret room. They had discovered a secret door within the secret room, which they had just managed to pry open when the door into the secret room was ripped off of its hinges by a giant writhing collection of maggot-like worms and tentacles. And we're going to start right in that moment as the door slides open, revealing a set of stone stairs leading downwards. Whilst this creature is at the far end of the room, a good 40 feet away from you. You have the action. What are you doing?
Start whacking Ray and like, close the door! Close the door!
Yeah, okay.
There's no door to close.
It was that stone thingy. It was a stone door.
I'm not, okay.
I start running down the hallway.
You're running
Still
down the
carrying that
stairs.
treasure
I'm
chest?
gonna
that
run
you
down
had?
the stairs and just start yelling, close the door!
You have all of that gear that you took out of the treasure chest. You were going to try and drag it out last time. You're just going to grab it and run?
Oh, what was in there?
Remember all of the various things you picked up? The golden rod, the 2 large books,
Yeah,
the black book.
I spent my turns already to go pick those
Put
up
them
and
in-
put them in my bag. That was
Gotcha.
taking me so long to get to the door. At this point,
Gotcha.
I'm at the door with it all.
All right, so you're running down the stairs. Sidon?
I'm going to run, but I'm going to try and keep pace with Ray. Presuming Ray's running.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sticking around.
Yeah. So Sid's going to go, right, well, I've seen what your problem was, which of course was Naily McAngry Face, and well, this is what I've been dealing with, this giant wormy thing. Long story short, they're eating the worms, they're going mad, and we can't really let this thing out into the countryside. You got any ideas, big fella?
I yell back, close the door!
That
You
was
be quiet.
wonderful.
If you're not closing the door, you don't boss me around, you giant little pixie.
I'm a sprite!
I like how they're having this conversation while the thing is like looking at Iggy going,
Yes. Yes, there's lots of screaming and shouting on. Iggy, by the sounds of things, you're the last one through the door, so...
I am,
you-
intentionally so. So what I want to do is I'm going to step through the door.
Yep.
I'm going to let Ray close it, and then I'm going to throw a barrier up in front of the door.
Nice. You're going to try and throw the barrier up. Well, with your magic, you should quite easily.
Ooh, I got a light fate and a spell point back. So I didn't even
Nice.
burn it. So, and double 6, so I didn't even burn anything. It was 665.
That's
like
a great
30.
start.
That's a 30 or something like that. Ridiculous. Okay,
You
barrier
did it.
is erect.
Yes, this barrier, it will absorb a certain amount of damage before it's destroyed, but it will remain there basically indefinitely. Is that correct?
Just as long as I can see it, I believe. But I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. So if it's not twisty stairs, then we're good. If it's straight
What castle
stairs.
would have twisty stairs?
So
I
you
don't know.
see, this is one of the reasons why I like one of the sponsors of the show is that I have to pre-make these maps before the game starts, so the players can't call foul when they see the map.
It's twisty
which
stairs.
It's
is now
twisty
in
stairs.
front of you. The stairs lead straight down and reveal a
Yeah.
statue of some human standing, looking very grim. It could be a ghoul as well. It's difficult to tell. Grey stone masks, whatever skin impediments there might have been. But yes, the stairs lead down directly in front of you. And that barrier goes up. The stone door seals shut as... well, I ask you, there's a small stone in the wall that you know that if you depressed would cause the stone door to close. Are you going to do that, Iggy?
Mm-hmm.
As you're doing that, the writhing mass of maggots just swarms against the door. You hear a dull thud on the other side as it's sealed shut. Iris, you're in front. Do you continue down to the bottom of the stairs?
Yes. I'm running.
All right. The bottom of the stairs reveals that there is a door directly in front of you, or windy stairs going around the corner.
I look back up.
We'll enjoy your sacrifice.
When we came into this castle, we didn't go. Did we go upstairs, or I know we went through one of the main chambers? When we were going into her office, did we go upstairs?
You did go up a short set of stairs, probably about 5 or 6 stairs.
I looked down. Is that further than 5 or 6 stairs?
Well, just the staircase you've just come down is a good 25 to 30 stairs. And then the next depression is another 10 to 15. So you're probably at least underneath the castle if it's been built level.
I'm going to kick the door open.
All right, you're going to go and kick the door open. You're doing that, Sidon?
I am going to. I've basically talked to Ray about whether or not we should be trying to kill this thing or just trying to run away, because Sidon just makes it very clear, if this thing gets out of the city, it is what is infecting everyone. It is what's making them poisoned. It's what's making them hallucinate. It's everything. And if it gets out and people, are infected by it, like it basically burrows into their ears and into their heads, then we could look at this entire country falling just from that one mass, if it can get around as it is.
Yeah, this is very important to stop it. But is it coming through the door? That's the biggest question right now. And I don't know if you've seen Ray, but he has holes. Many. He kind of like looks at your armor and pulls away like the plate that's been ripped to shreds. Many holes. So
I'm still good. I can fight. Just
see, he can fight. Don't you worry about him. He's a tough bloke. I punch him, he falls unconscious.
Has anyone seen Sid? By the way, I kept hearing him talk, but I can't, see.
I'm gonna touch.
What do you mean you can't see? When did that happen?
Why
are you blind?
I'm gonna will this wound closed.
Wait.
Oh wait, no, I can't.
I have some spare eyes.
Oh, you do. That's right. They're pickled though.
I have spare eyes. Will these help?
All right, Sid. I respect that we do have to trap this thing. If we don't get out, this thing will still be unleashed. We at least need to let people know what's happening. If secondary should be trapping this thing, getting out and getting help would be the first thing we should do.
No. Think about it. If we have to get out and this thing is just allowed to follow us out, I mean, look, allow me to maybe propose something, right? Can we seal the castle? I mean, if the castle is prepared for a siege, maybe that there's a way to bolt this place down. Clearly it can't, wiggle through too many orifices. If we can lock down this place, at least we can slow it.
Sid, it can literally turn into anyone. He could just walk up as the law and like, open the doors, everything's fine, and then it goes.
Wait, what? I mean, a giant big thing of maggots.
Yeah, we have no idea what.
What do you mean it could shapeshift?
The other one shapeshift. The giant thing we just killed looked like a little old lady.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe they can do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So I think we should get out first.
I think this entire city has been already infected. But we're too weak to fight. We are currently too weak to kill that thing. But we also can't run across the countryside, because by the time that creature is free, it has its own devices, and its plans are now being accelerated because now it knows we know. So we have to deal with it. We have to deal with it now, but we're not right now. Because
all right. Okay, all right. All right, fine. Let's get out of the castle and maybe hide in the city then?
I don't know. Maybe let's figure out where this door goes first.
I'm already opening the door.
All right. I'm going to rush down. I'm going to sprint down the winding corridor. Now, Sid is pretty quick and pretty nimble. So I'm not even going to, take all the stairs. I'm going to, you know when you're a kid and you're running down, a swirly stairs, you kind of hop and spin your body around the last few. I'm going to do that as I'm bolting down, half jumping over the stairs.
All the way to the bottom of them?
Yeah.
All right, that's what you're doing.
Where this door goes.
I'm gonna get under We're not leveled up yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Cool. Not until you
Cool,
sleep.
cool. So I'm gonna get underneath of Ray's arm, and I'm gonna try to help him. Not very well, but I'm gonna try to help him down the stairs and get him out of here, wherever Iris or Sid tells me to go.
Nice. All right, Iris, you are kicking in that door. There is a dull thud, and the door does not move. It appears to have a circular keyhole, but it's a keyhole about that big. It's quite a large circular hole.
Like my yellow golden staff?
Could be.
I stick the staff in.
The door slides open with the staff.
Oh my god, guys, get in. I got the key. He can't get in. Guys. I go inside.
All right, you rush inside.
You were mad.
You see a small chamber. Looks like someone used to do research in here. Sudden, you get to the bottom of the stairs, and you are hearing whispering coming from the other side of this door. Now, the door is partially open, so you can see a little bit into the room.
You are muted, I think.
Aiden places his hand upon the cold stone. He shuts his eyes for a brief moment and says, "Oh, I swear to the great wizard if these are heckin' drow again." And I'm going to push open the door.
You are hearing that whispering. It does remind you of the dark elf tongue that you heard in the caves.
Oh, god damn it.
You're gonna get shot.
I'm gonna get shot again.
So this is just before you push those doors open. They don't sound as if they have heard you. There is a strange green light emanating from this doorway as well, by the way.
Okay.
Bluish green light. And there's the smell of freshly dug earth.
It's like the seal from episode 1.
Okay.
I haven't had time.
I am. So they've yelled out they found a door, basically.
I said I have a key to a door.
Okay. I'm going to take one of my kitchen knives out, and I'm going to run a gash along, not my hand, because I need my hand for cooking. I'm going to run a gash along my forearm, and I'm going to just let some of me sort of slop on the floor here, and then up the stairs, and then basically around the corner. My goal here is that the tentacle monster might head down there and go deal with some drow, and then I'll take out my one of my bit of cloth and stuff, and then head into the little alcove. Shh, quiet, there are dark caves down there. I know. Just you're fine. I'm getting in. I'm coming in.
I'm gonna help Ray because he said he can't see very well. I'm gonna help Ray.
Why are you blind?
You all sneak into this room. Iris,
I
do you
can walk.
pull?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Pull the stick out and let the door close.
You're like literally crushing my spine right now.
Just set me on that barrel there. I'll be fine.
The door
Oh, so you could see the barrel.
slams shut, and all goes quiet for a
See all
moment
8 of the barrels.
as you catch your breath. The barrels appear to have been filled with some. It looks like a very grey biscuit.
Don't eat it.
Not like the biscuits that have been handed out. This looks like it's hardtack. And by the count of the barrels, there are 3 barrels filled with this stuff. You could probably live down here for a month or 2 on this hardtack. It would not be pleasant, and you would definitely get scurvy, but it would keep you alive. And then the other barrel is filled with water. Again, you suspect enough to outlast at least a month. So whoever was down here was planning or had planned to be besieged potentially.
I look at the others and think, this is the best place. We rest here.
I'm going to be at the door and listen to see if all of a sudden I hear drow screaming for their lives.
Well, the moment the door shuts, Iggy, you lose sight of your barrier, so I assume that comes down.
It does.
Iris, you are listening at that door, and it seems silent for a moment. And then you hear the door at the top of the stairs slowly grating open. And then a liquid being poured down the steps, sloshing, gushing. And it seems to be following something. It moves closer to the door, and then it moves away, and you hear it slopping and slushing. And then another door swinging open, and then closing, and all is silent.
How sealed is this door that I'm looking at here?
Well, it looks very solid, made out of stone. The arcane sigils that are carved into it, you can give me a lore check if you like.
I shall. 12 or 11 plus 19.
19. You suspect that this is a magically enhanced door, and that the entire castle would probably be destroyed before this door fell down. And that rod is the only thing that will open or close it.
I turn to the others. This is the only way it's going to get in is through this. And I'm sure that the sound is very, like, obviously, as when you said the door shut, the sound just, like, literally shut off. So very hard to hear through it.
Yeah, unless you're up against it like Iris was. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's only really half true. And I'll reach into my little pouch and I'll pull out the little mason jar that I made filled with the white milky liquid and the worms.
Yeah.
What is that?
I brought you a present. It's
I also
Mammy's
look at-
own worm preserve.
I'm not going to eat that.
No, I don't want you to eat it, but I figured that you'd like to.
In the barrel.
Look at it. Yeah, I have an alchemy kit. We can bust that out. I think it's
Look,
in
I
Ray's,
don't ask me. Look, I cook things, and this ain't edible.
it's in Ray's backpack because it's really heavy.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm still wearing this. Here you go.
Yeah.
I also just look at Sam like, remember the time you're like making faces at me for going through a treasure chest to make sure we can find like keys or something? Yeah.
Look.
And I waved the stick in his face.
Sid frowns. He pulls out a small pear and just takes a bite out of it. I can't even taste it. Tastes like dirt to me. Still gonna eat it.
Ray coughs up a kidney.
What's happening here? Do you know healing magic?
No, I destroy things by nature.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll
do
be
you know
fine. You
medicine?
just let me rest a bit. I'll be all right.
It doesn't look so good.
We gotta get outside though soon.
We can't. We're gonna have to rest you for a long time, maybe 8 hours, because something is mechanically healing us after that. I don't understand how the laws of the universe work, or just how it does.
I always feel better after an 8-hour nap.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel perfectly
God
fine.
tells us to sleep this long.
Just saying.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I didn't try to punch a Bane Lord.
Well, like I'm hurt badly, and so's
Ray. Ray was dead.
yeah. And how
I
long?
brought you both back.
This might be a meta question, Guy. And,
I've got
and
what,
you can
5?
you can. Yeah, I'm at
5
like
life right now.
I'm at 1 or 2, and it's mostly mental. I didn't take too much hits.
I can fix that.
No, please. Don't. It's fine. I don't need you to shiv me to make me feel better. I feel like that's gonna be counterintuitive.
Just thought you might feel left out, Zan.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I'm good. Do I think that if we rested like 15 minutes, we might gain the level, or do we have to rest that 8 hours sleep?
You would have to sleep.
I'll take first watch as soon as I sleep.
With sleeping, you will regain all your spell points, all of your life points as well. However, Ray, you did technically go into 0, didn't you?
Ray and
I did
him.
too.
I brought them both back.
Okay. So something that I forgot to tell you at the time is that once you have both reached 0, you gain a wound. Now, a wound gives you a -2 to everything, basically, until you recover that wound. Now, a wound is recovered once per day. A character that has taken one or more wounds may attempt to heal one wound after taking a long rest. So, healing a wound requires a fortitude metal test against a difficulty of 14. If you succeed with a great success or better, if you do not get a great success, you do not heal the wound. You must then wait until the next full rest to try. However, the difficulty for this test is reduced by 2 each day you don't succeed.
Okay.
Yes. Also, I will have a solution for our wounds. So I just need the 8 hours of sleep. Because things happen when you sleep, apparently.
Amazing things happen.
Yeah,
I'll take first watch because I'm
not
pretty
trying
okay.
to be that guy, but Ray cannot stay in here.
Oh, is he like
Just
claustrophobic?
claustrophobic?
No, Orien's out there. That thing gets out, it's gonna hurt her.
Where is she right now?
Don't know.
Okay, so you
Just remember-
Ray, I sent my pixie. I sent Holly to go tell Orianne to run. And the little girl. I already sent Holly out the window.
That's
Was
true.
that before or after I got beaten to death by that big angry monster?
When it was happening, I let them know the Bane Lord is here and to get out.
Okay. Have we met?
yeah, you should just keep sitting, and I'm gonna look at this worm concoction. I'll take first. Maybe I'll take
first watch.
Okay,
This girl
I'll
is
just
awesome.
stay up with.
Okay. Sid, before you go to sleep, I have an important question for you.
I was gonna say Sid's just sort of sitting on a barrel, just with this huge grin on his face, and as he looks at Ray and says, "I like him this way."
No.
I have a very
That's what Sid is.
I look at
Sid
Sid.
sits down.
like Sid. Serious talk though. If I didn't bring them back from the dead, were you going to pickle our friends' eyes, or would you draw the line at friends?
Well, okay, look. Here's the honest truth.
Do you eat your friends?
I feel like if they're my friends, they'd want me to eat them.
I put my hands over Ray's ears and I go, "It's okay, Ray. You just fall asleep now."
But look. To be honest, I'm actually quite picky as an eater, and look, between you and me, I'd sooner eat you than I'd eat the two of these guys, just because, yeah.
I'm honored, but I also have to say, for my culture, I would like to return to the earth. Please don't eat me.
Yeah, give it 8 hours, you'll return to Earth.
I'd
Ray-
rather not
Walk
return
into
to the
that.
earth as fertilizer.
Listen, let's stay focused
Yeah,
on what
that's
needs.
perfectly fine. You'll return to the Earth as fertilizer. It's fine.
No, just put me in the ground.
I'm just gonna look around while they're talking, and I'm horrified.
All right.
Still giving me earmuffs while you're doing this? While you're
Yes, I
looking
am
around?
too. At the same time,
It's okay. He's joking.
Nothing
He
bad
wouldn't
is
eat
happening.
you.
You're not
You're
gonna
fine.
die.
There's like kind of like batting away. No, you
And
you
you know
seem
that
like a
look
very
when
nice
you-
girl, but I'm spoken for.
All right.
I love Ray.
Friends don't eat friends.
You know how when you look at a cat in the middle of the night and their eyes are like dinner plates, right? That's kind of how Sid's looking at Iggy right now.
I'm
Where'd
really.
you find?
I'm just looking. I'm just looking. Sid, can you just check the barrels for anything important while I'm looking, please? Or find out if there's anything in here that's of good value. Can you just look around? Just look around. Just look around one time. Just look, please. Thank you.
Actually, can you check out that desk for anything important? I've already got a few books.
I'm going to the desk because I'm gonna work
Alright.
there.
Oh, okay.
All right. Ray, are you going to sleep?
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep.
I think that makes sense. Sidon?
Hold on, Snorlax. So I can...
After searching the barrels for the hardtack,
Yeah.
I want to use just some downtime to ration it out to try and make it last as long as possible, but then I'll go to sleep.
With rationing, you could probably stay holed up in this place for about a month and a half, you reckon?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Iris and Iggy, the two of you are the only ones who are left awake. The desk appears to be the diary of this mage who was in residence once. The diary is a catalogue of symbols. and rune sign that they've been working through. And it seems to be referencing an ancient device that was built by the Great Mage, you suspect. Or at least the author suspected. And the runes have to be activated on this device in a very specific way, and the mage has listed about 8 addresses, which she believes would allow for the device to be activated. The device, once activated, would teleport anybody who is standing near it to one of these locations.
Okay, so they did find that teleporter that artifact they were looking for before, essentially, or at least the Bane Lords were looking for it, perhaps. Okay.
You're not sure.
All right, I'm gonna see if there's a way I can.
I have Decipher.
Yeah, that might work. If there's a way that we can figure. I mean, he's really tired. Like he's like kind of like on the desk. He's like literally his whole weight's down, and he's kind of like trying to figure it out.
I see that as it's slipping. I'm just gonna come over and tousle his hair. It's like, sleep. I'll keep watch. We can do this when you're awake.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at this, and just like takes a familiar pose that he probably has taken in all sorts of school, where his face is inside the book. It's very comfortable for him. You suspect that
his body's adapted.
That his spine rotates just perfectly, so it's fine.
All right, Iris, you take the first watch.
So I have 2 books of fancy writing. I'm going to look at those. What did I get?
So I need you, please, to give me a lore check.
I've been around for a really long time, so I'm hoping I'm good at my lore. I do have it as a skill.
Wits, I believe, or is it insight?
I have lore skills.
Yeah.
It's wits.
Yeah, it's got 2 wits to it.
Oh, great success! I got 2 3s, and then 6, 10, and wits 13. And I also have it in skills. What does skills do for
Just
bonuses?
Lets you add the wits.
Oh, it lets me add the wits? Okay, so they are 13.
13. The first book is definitely a book or a treatise on dragons, extinct creatures that once roamed the world, causing terror. The book is a collection of evidence that the dragons are still alive, just in hiding. And there are about, give or take, four, if you sort of skip through the chapters, maybe 5 locations where the author predicts that there would be dragons based on the ancient lore of what all dragons are all about.
And in this world, are dragons good in nature, bad in nature, both in nature, depending on which one?
They're bestial in nature, so they don't have sentience. They just breathe fire and kill people.
Okay, so they're just hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, and the second?
The second one requires you to make a spellcasting check.
Fancy. Do I have that too?
Is it of arcane nature or
arcane? Yeah. So it's wits.
Wits. Okay.
You don't have it as. Oh, you do have it as nature though.
Yeah, I have a spellcasting for nature. Double 4s, so that's a great success, and that's 8, 10, and is it nature? Yeah, so that's my.
No, it's arcane.
It's arcane.
Oh, it's arcane. So then no, so it's just straight 10.
All right. There is a spell contained in this book, which is very, very old, but you have no idea what it would do.
But I know it's a spell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Iggy look at this later.
He is very kind of goes.
All right, and then very carefully, I'm going to take like a piece of cloth and pull out the black book.
Yes.
I'm going to open the front. Open the front cover, like flip it with a stick. I close the book.
It is quiet.
Keep it daring people to try to sleep.
Okay, I flip it back open.
Ray shoots up. What's going on? What happened?
I can't actually hear Guy at all.
I think you're muted.
I think he muted himself.
There we go.
Secrets, many secrets. Read
No, thanks. I'm going to close it.
All right. You close it. The script looked as if it was blood
I almost
splatters.
felt like the GM was trying to whisper something to a player. Like, God damn it, keep reading. The quest is further.
So, secrets read further, and you said the script was what?
It looks like Rorschach ink blot tests.
Right, demonic probably. I'm wondering if this is how they got the mage in the first place. All right, I'm just going to keep watch at the door and listening to hear if anything walks by the door and anything slithers back up through the door. Like, I'm just going to sit here for 8 hours and just like... Rrr.
At the end of your hour, whom do you wake up? For you hear nothing.
Is it only an hour? Okay.
Well, I don't know. How long are you taking your watch for? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours?
I'll take my watch for the first 4 hours because I'm not really that hurt.
All right. 4 hours drags interminably by. The black book. Where did you put it?
I put it back in my bag.
Sits heavy in the bag that you have.
Oh no, it's Lord of the Rings. It's a book.
But
Right,
after 4 hours, just towards the end of it, you hear a voice saying, I do not care. Figure it out. That was very muffled, but coming from down the stairs.
Okay, and can I hear if they're I push my ear. Can I hear if they're walking upstairs?
It sounds as if they are now trying to open this door. Because there's a gripping thud. And then a few more thuds later on, but the door doesn't move.
All right. I'm going to nudge Sidon.
Right?
And I'm going to put my hand over his mouth so he doesn't make any noise when he first wakes up. I'm like... And I let my hand off.
Nice.
I point to the door. I'm like, I hear at the door trying to get in.
I'll walk over. Sid will walk over to the door and listen as well. And what I want to hear is I want to see if I can hear, just based on the subtle movements, like how many people might be out there.
That's an interesting one. Give me, if you could, a notice check. Wits.
Okay, so that is a 6, 12, 15 before I add my notice stuff, which is wits. 15, 18.
It sounds like it's only one person, and they've sort of knocked around the edge of the door. You can see, I beg your pardon, they've knocked against the wall as well. There's some scraping that's happening. It looks as if they're doing a fairly thorough investigation as to how to open this door. Always being brought back to that singular circular hole. And after about 3 or 4 minutes of this, you then hear retreating footsteps going upstairs.
All right. Listen, the others need rest. I'm still pretty okay, but you reckon you can watch here and maybe let me out?
Out of the door?
Yeah. Look, I made my way through this place without being noticed before. I can do it. I can do it again. If they try to poke around in here, I can take out one of them, one or two of them.
Okay, but my concern is if something goes wrong, how are you going to let us know in here?
Let's say you'll know when I'm in trouble.
They're eating him! Oh, the irony! Look, I need to rest as well, and I don't have anything else if someone does get in here. Like, I've spent everything. I'm physically fine, but spiritually, I'm drained.
Yeah, but I can't protect you from in here, and if they bust down that door, that's all of us hecked. But if I'm out there, at the very least, if I can't kill them, I can at least lure them away from you.
But there's someone already out there.
That's my point. I can get rid of that person, but I can't do that from in here.
I don't think it's a good idea because we don't know who's behind them or who has the doors open watching in the halls.
Well, we can just wait until they bust open the door if you like.
I'd rather wait until our friends are conscious and healed up before we make a move like opening the door. If they get in here while they're sleeping, they're dead.
Well, no, he just walked off. I heard him stepping up the stairs.
Well, who's to say that there's any others?
Look, what's to say that they're not going to break in within the next 10 minutes or 2 hours before they're fully rested?
I'm going to.
There's lots of what ifs. What I can tell you is I can do something if I'm out there.
But I tapped the sigils. I'm like, they can't get in here.
Yeah, as far as you know, they seem pretty determined.
There might be another.
You willing to bet their lives on that stick?
I think leaving right now, when you're one of the only ones who could probably put up a fight, would be damning us if they get in here. You might be able to take 1 or 2, but you can't fight them alone.
No, I don't want to fight them. What I'm saying is I can go outside and make sure that if they do try to get in, or if they look like they're going to get in, I can get the jump on them.
And take out 1 or 2, and then we're back to square one, and you'll be dead. Just stay here.
I'm glad to think you think so highly of me, lass. I didn't know you cared.
Ray is spooning
Aggie.
Aggie.
A whole army of you can't take a whole castle that's been possessed by these worms. We've heard
You make so many assumptions, you know. Like I said, I traveled this entire castle. I even pat the damn king or the commander on the back.
When the worm thing started making its noise, you noticed the other warriors all started making it. He has an army. Anybody possessed in this city.
Look, I feel like we're going around in circles. If you don't want me to go, lass, I'll just stay here. But just know that I disagree.
I understand, Sid. I just don't want something to happen to you. And if they get in here and you die, I don't want anything happening to them. It's because I'm not trying to be mean. I care, okay?
Oh, yeah, no, look, I get it, lass. I do. I saw those things right up close and personal. I've seen what they've done to people. I've even seen them wiggling around inside of folks. I don't want to go out there. I don't want to go and have to deal with all that. Look, I didn't set up rations in here to live for another month or so, just so that I can go out there, get killed by some giant, weird zombie worm thing. I don't want to do any of that. But...
Wait.
What?
Normally, if you have a room like this, you need to have another way out in case for some reason you get stuck in here. Could we look for another exit, another door, another depression stone like the other one? There might be another way of getting out of here that would have been safer. We haven't even turned this room inside out yet. There might be another option. I suggest we look at that first, and then
Fine. Look,
when the others wake up, if you still want to go out and they're still not there and the others are awake, then I'll let you out.
Fine. Look, lass, you seem a little stressed. How about this? You take your sleep, I'll have a look around, all right? I won't do anything stupid until at least someone's awake, all right?
All right.
As soon as she's asleep, opens the door and walks out.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not actually... I go in the corner. I go into the corner. I lay in the corner, but I stick the pole like down my armor, and so like I'd feel it if it moved.
So you basically just decided to be a sleeping shish kebab for me.
Mm.
See, and you said you didn't care. I'll start looking around.
All right. So you try and
don't kill everyone, Sid. Don't eat random people, Sid. Don't go out there and kill everyone, Sid.
So many rules.
There's a lot of not killing.
All right, Sid, you are looking around,
browsing around, looking for an emergency exit.
Sure thing.
Oh, did something just pop up on the screen?
What is it? You're asleep. Quiet, you.
Yes, you're asleep.
Down, Iggy.
You're asleep. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Actually, I'll have to tell our
Wait, is it an accident or is there actually a door?
Well, it's not supposed to be there just yet, but that's okay. So, Sid, you are searching around for the next 4 hours. You can give me an investigation wits check, if you please.
Yes, indeed. Oh, that's pretty good. So that is a 2 4s and a 3. So that is
11.
Yep. Plus another 3 is 14.
All right. Yeah, on 14, there does seem to be a doorway behind this one barrel. So if you move the barrel out of the way, which is easy enough to do, you can...
Yep, I'll get some pig fat to do it quietly.
Nice. You push the door open?
Yep.
Okay. It leads you into a very small corridor, which seems to have a dead end.
Oh, that's good. I'll examine the dead end, just kind of see if there's any depressions or...
Sure thing. You're examining
Switches
this
or-
dead end, and as you are feeling the stonework, you're starting to hear voices from the other side of the wall. They sound like they're standing right next to you. And you realize that there's one section of wall which is in the dark. You don't have night vision, right?
No.
No. So you have to have a torch here, otherwise you're in the dark, literally in the dark. But you realize that the wall in front of you is obviously a false wall, because you can feel wooden bracing and bits of plaster of Paris that must make it look like the wall from the other side. So it's probably not even half a foot thick. But you can definitely hear voices on the other side. Someone is saying, "I don't care. Just try another combination. Bring in another one of the townsfolk." And then there's some shuffling, some murmuring, and then some scrabbling, and then a very distinct humming, thrumming kind of sound, and then a very wet sound, and some swearing in a language that you can't understand.
Those are all sounds that I love, by the way, Guy.
Right.
My favorite
Well,
sounds
those,
in that order specifically.
while standing in the dark. That's what you...
While standing in the dark. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my very thin-edged filleting knife from my kitchen set very carefully.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is I want to just carve very, very gently between, like, where I just kind of want to feel where the wood grain is, and just try and make a tiny incision so that I can maybe use it as a peephole.
Okay. You gonna give me a stealth check, sleight of hand check, please. Sleight of hand.
Yep, I can do that because I'm good at this. I'm gonna burn a light fate point on this.
Ah, nice.
Ooh, okay. So I get my light fate point back, I think, if I get a 6.
Yep.
So that is 663.
Nice.
And I dropped a 1 from my light fate point thing.
Yep.
Plus my agility of 4. So
Nice.
that is a
19. All right. On a 19, you reveal a sliver of glowing light. And
Cheeky bastard. Dang it. Here you go, Michael. Enjoy. Dang it.
as you sort of look to the left and to the right, I'm going to try and give you a little bit more. That's what you're seeing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Oh,
And
does that look...
Every now and
like that
again,
bucket of...
one of these steps past your sight, which is a dark elf.
Okay.
And you hear that voice, "Do it again!" And this figure blocks your line of vision for a moment. And when they step away again, you can see that there is a human. I don't have the token here, but there's a human standing with their hand on that central glowing light. And someone does something. And then this axe blade thing that you can see here spins around ferociously and literally just cuts the human into pieces.
A bit wasteful.
The dark elf then steps aside. "We will have to try it again. Her Grace wants success before the morning."
Okay. How many hours left for the 8-hour rest, by the way, at the point in which I find the
Kai,
door and make my
another
way?
8 hours.
I'm gonna kind of patrol. I gotta go between that room and this room, and I want to kind of measure the increments of time that they bring a new human in and execute them. Mostly because I want to then calculate the loss of life should I allow them to finish their resting.
Okay. It looks as if they do about 3 people in an hour, and then they stop and they're like, well, we're going to try this, we're going to try that. But it's erratic because they're tinkering and muttering and mumbling and trying all sorts of different things. So it keeps changing. Sometimes they bring one person in. At one point, they bring in someone. There's the humming sound, and the axe that spins around, it suddenly becomes ethereal, and the figure vanishes. It does not get turned into a pool of blood. It's at that point that the Dark Elf then makes some notes, and then says, bring in another one. We've got to try all the combinations.
Oh man, I am so torn, both as a player and as a character. So Sid is a killer by nature. He's not a hero. He doesn't want to be a hero. He is more than happy to let people die. But as part of his arrangement with the Tam Sarai is the only people whose loss of life should amount from Sid's actions has to be those who are guilty and enemies of the Tam Sarai. That is his thing. And Sid's very much a person of his word. If he doesn't act, those people are dead. And Sid knows it. If he awakens the others, there's nothing they could do. They're all very, very injured and the like. If he awakens Iggy, who's the only person who might be able to assist, Iggy has no spells and no abilities and would also likely stop Sid from doing something stupid. So this being said, Sid is going to move the barrels into the way of the door with Sid on the other side. Okay. And I'm going to write a note outlining what is happening. And basically everything that's happening. I'm going to wait at least halfway between the 4-hour mark where Ray and Iggy will be okay. So that'll be another 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, because you've been going for 2 hours, correct?
Yep. And I'm gonna wait until that guy who's bossing everyone around puts his back against the wall before I take my action.
All right. Okay. So at the 8-hour mark, give or take, because we don't have pocket watches yet.
Yeah.
You would assume that Iggy and Ray would be okay to wake up. Now, under normal circumstances, I'd say yes, they would wake up. Except they have both been near death, and so would probably sleep until somebody wakes them up. Or you guys can both give me, I would say, a straight up metal or resolve check, Iggy or Ray, to wake up before, or to wake up at the 8-hour mark, basically. Iggy sleeps.
Nice. I got a light point.
Nice.
I am happy about this. You can tell because my face does this. See?
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yeah. It's like reading a book.
What DC am I going for?
Well, hopefully you're gonna hit somewhere around the 13 mark.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I got a +4 on metal, and that's a 633.
All right, that's 12 plus 4 is 16. You're good. So you start to wake up feeling slightly refreshed. You still have a wound, which gives you that -2 to everything, but you have your life points back, and you are capable of fighting once again. You wake up to a very... I beg your pardon?
Can I do the thing? The once per long rest thing? See if I can get rid of that.
Yes, you can indeed attempt to recover that. It is a metal check.
Yeah, I think so. So that's I don't get a light point, but you don't get a dark point, so that's good. 5 plus 2 plus 5. It's early, and I have to do math in my head, which is a terrible idea for anybody. 17.
17. You recover the wound.
Yay!
You are no longer wounded. You awaken to a very quiet space. There is the gentle, whatever sound Iggy makes when he sleeps. Does he make a sound? He doesn't because he's muted.
Carry the 2 and he just divides by 6.
Oh my god, there's soft algebra math going on.
Oh, he's sleep nerding.
How have I not smothered him?
All right. Sidon, back to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna, like I said, because there's no pocket watches, I'm gonna roughly time it around this magical 8 hours that Iggy kept going on about.
Yes.
And when the guy steps in front of me next, I'm going to try to emerge from the door. Either if it slides, I'll slide it. Otherwise, I will try to, again, it's 1 inch thick. I'm gonna try to get up behind him with both my kitchen knives, one sort of behind his throat and under his jugular, and the other kind of just right where the liver is. Obviously, Sid knows one thing, and that is obviously how to ambush and carve people up, and he's going to use all of his joy to grab hold of this guy.
You go for it. He is completely unaware. So, yeah, you're going to just go ahead and make your attack.
Well, like I said, I kind of want to grab him and threaten him. I don't necessarily want to stab him.
Oh, you don't want to kill him?
Yeah. No. I mean, I don't know how many people are in the room. I mean, if there's no one else in the room, I'll rip him to shreds.
I know you're fairly certain that there are others in the room because they're
that's what I thought. Yeah,
and that sort of thing.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought there's at least one technician, and this is the guy in charge. I want to kind of take him and use him as kind of a leverage to get the rest of us out potentially.
All right. So your assessment of this wooden frame is that normally it would just be pushed forward and aside, but that might alert someone that you are there. You could just try and go straight through it, but then that's wooden canvas and clay or whatever it is that they've used to make it. It's your choice.
My brawn's not that bad. I'm going to try and bust through it.
All right. You are just going to reach through and grab this guy. Let me have... Let's see here. Wait.
I have watched this son of a dark elf for the last 4 hours.
Yes.
I want to do my preparation.
Okay.
Which I was complaining last week that it takes hours. When would I ever do it? No, do it.
No.
Yes. So that is... Okay, so I would have had to have watched him for 2 hours.
You've had plenty of time.
Yeah. All right. He is now my target. He is now my thing. So I now can set aside one Kismet dice. Sorry, one dice that is not my Kismet.
Yeah.
And after I roll any result, I can just change one of the results to that.
Nice. Okay. So are you going to try and do this stealthily? Or are you just going to bust in there and just take him by surprise?
I mean, I'm going to try and do it as quietly as I can. I mean, no need to alert the castle, but I imagine there's only going to be so quiet that I can make this.
All right. So I would like you to give me a melee attack against him, if you please.
Yes. That is... Oh, I need another dice. Okay. So you get a dark fate point.
Yes.
But I do get a 11 plus 12, 16 in total.
You completely catch him unaware. You burst through the wall. Ray, in the distance, you hear some sort of crumbling sound, but it sounds very far away at the moment.
I'll wake up Iggy if it looks like he's time to be woken up.
Yeah.
Got movement.
Nice arms. This is warm in here. Hi, Ray.
Morning.
I'm gonna do a metal check to see if I can get rid of this.
Yes.
This wound.
Metal 14.
I mean, I rolled well, but it was not enough.
It was not enough, sadly.
12. So it's 13. So literally.
Oh no! By one.
Can I use a light fade actually?
You can, I believe. You did it?
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. All right. You are no longer
I
wounded.
just needed to roll like literally one more. I had rolled a 1 on 1 dice.
Gotcha. All right. There you go.
Cool.
You are no longer wounded. You have been woken up by Ray. Sidon, you have leapt into this room now, so I will show you what you see.
Oh, and it's actually morning, right?
Well, it's dayish.
Oh, so it's like just a little bit beyond morning, maybe?
Yeah, well, you don't know. You're inside this room, but yes, possibly it's sort of like 9
Excellent.
a.m.
I've never had to say this, but I'm gonna say it now. I say, top of the morning to you. Yeah.
All right, that's kind of what your vision is showing you. It's this large room, but it's actually this entire space. This is what you are seeing.
Sweet.
There's this large circular chamber that has a door at the far end, and then a large rent in the ground here, which that's no good. Why is it not showing it? Have I got the wrong one selected? Give me a second here.
Because Sidon is not going to last long enough to appreciate it. As he is riddled with arrows.
Farewell, Sidon. We hardly knew you.
Apparently
Yeah,
not. There we
I
go.
went to your bar mitzvah.
There's a
Died
cave.
as he lived. Dead.
Yes. There appears to be a cave that's been born into this room, as well as 3 figures, 3 of the dark elves that are standing there. The human has just been turned into spray, but that's what
That's
you're
probably the
seeing
moment I chose to.
Yeah, as you see it, this is what you are seeing. 3 figures.
Well, lads, your room's much nicer than mine. I had to sleep on a rusty floor, cricking me back and neck and everything. But I guess you're about to know a little bit about pain in the neck, won't you? And I sort of thrust it back up into his neck a little bit more.
The woman turns and you can see she's got this rather crooked black wand in her hand, and she's holding it quite defensively. The one on the far end, furthest away from you, is a guard, and his hand immediately goes to the hilt of his blade.
No, not so quick, Larson, lad. I mean, the last thing we want to do is decorate this place a nice shade of dark elf blood, now do we?
They pause for a moment. The man whose throat you have says, "What do you want, surfacer?"
Yeah. Well, see, now, isn't that far more reasonable? Well, the first thing I want is for your boy and your lass to put their weapons somewhere a little safer, if you follow my meaning. Toss them across the room.
You should know that you are going to die for this assault against us.
Oh, yes. No, already been perforated by some of your boys a bit down the road. I'm not afraid of the drow or a little bit of deading, as you can tell. Been there before, it didn't take. How about yourself? Care to find out?
Ray, Iggy?
Where's Sid? Because, where's Sid? Oh no. I'm gonna go
What do you
look
mean,
at-
oh no? I'm dealing with the drow. When you guys were on your own, you had
You're down in the middle of this scene. Let him say, "Oh no."
You're not here.
Oh, no. I hear his voice. He's saying he's berating me, but he's not here though.
I got
This
goosebumps
is
for all of a
very
sudden.
confusing. I go look at the desk.
Yeah.
I assumed he just left, which is classic. So I go look at the desk. Do I see the outline?
Of the
The outline said left of what's
Oh,
happening.
I did.
There's a
I did.
note.
I left a note.
Yeah. What does your note say?
Dear other folks who are enjoying a nice long rest, this is Sidon. I found a secret tunnel. It's just behind the following barrels that I've laid this note upon, beyond which lies a chamber of absolute death and destruction, with a machine designed to cleave mortal people from the mortal coil that still attaches them to their meaty bodies, turning them into a fine powder. If you follow me immediately after reading this incredibly wordy letter, it'll give me enough time to be able to capture the enemy leader and hopefully have them in some sort of stalemate. What I need immediately is for you and the big fellow with the big weapon to come in and back me up. Signed yours sincerely, Sid. P.S. I know you've said something narky about me going off on my own. I haven't killed anyone. No one's been eaten. Get off your high horse and come help me.
Okay.
Kisses.
So he said kisses at the end, and it's very confusing. Anyway, move the barrels. He needs help, and I'm gonna get the codex, the one with all of the one I read
addresses?
that had all of that, the addresses, and I'm gonna put it in my bag.
Gotcha. Is anyone going to wake up Iris?
Yeah, I'm gonna wake her up. Just kind of tap her on the shoulder. You got a stick in between your boobs.
There's a
Is
door.
someone dying?
Yes.
No, but well, maybe at this moment.
Behind the.
What did he do?
I'm just gonna move these barrels.
So,
I'm just gonna. You see Iggy trying to move the barrels. It's like, and he's
Yeah,
like,
you-
can't.
yeah, you stand over there. I got this.
Iris
There's a lot
is
of biscuits
looking
in this one. It must be heavy.
angry because she hasn't. I haven't recovered, have I?
No, you've only done 4 hours.
Do you get
Iris
a rest
looks-
or whatever, a short rest?
You do get a short rest. You do get the benefits of a short
What-
rest.
What's the short rest do?
And
you
you
get
were
to
gonna ask that
roll a
question.
healing check of difficulty question of 14 or something like that. I think.
Yeah, but that wasn't my issue because I don't have a lot of problem with healing.
You have spells back too. You
Uh,
actually
so-
Do I get
So-
spells back?
I think.
Short rest. A short rest requires 15 minutes of complete and uninterrupted. A character cannot be engaged. Blah blah blah. During a short rest, you can attempt first aid on another character. This attempt may restore a character's lost life and may heal wounds they've suffered within the last hour. You cannot use first aid on yourself. First aid requires a healing test against difficulty 14. A single character cannot receive more than one first aid attempt after each combat. So,
I
unless
literally got back nothing.
yeah, because unless someone's trying to heal you, there ain't no one there. There's no way of getting life back.
I'm just like, you can go after the fool, but I have nothing. I have no spells. I have no energy. I'm tired as hell. And I told him. And I roll back over and go to sleep.
Great. Shall
All
we?
right, maximum.
I
effort.
have
Let's do
nothing
this.
to help. I have no
No one's judging.
no attack.
No, it's
Don't
fine.
worry.
Yeah, no,
It's
you
fine.
take a nap,
You're
princess.
good.
You go ahead. That's fine.
You want to nap it up.
In my defense, I said I wouldn't do anything until someone was awake, and I specifically waited.
You did. I'm gonna as he's moving
She is
stuff. I'm
so
gonna
mad
cast
at you
on
because
your
she
boar.
trusted you.
Gonna cast on your boar spear psionic blast.
I don't care. I think this is great.
All right.
Lawful.
I smashed it, and I got a great success, so I don't lose a spell point.
Nice.
What does that give to me?
Gives you +1 to attack, and then you add my craft. Oh, sorry. Can I rescind that for one
Sure.
spell additional?
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't yet walked into the situation, so you are absolutely
Okay,
entitled.
so I cast craft. I lose 2 spell points, unfortunately, for that, but that's worth it. So what that does is it adds +1 to my craft, and then I cast the other spell.
Right.
So far, I've burned 3 spell points.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we head in, I'm gonna repair my armor so that I have.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
your
get rid of
armor's shit.
wounds. You can't get rid of damaged armor, but you can repair broken armor, or vice versa.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It
You
was
got that?
gone. Yep.
Repairing and refitting. Yeah.
Got 4 hours sleep at this point because I got them up
Yeah.
at 4 hours.
You've got 4. Yeah. And sadly, that's neither here nor there in mechanical terms.
Yeah.
And in real life as well, 4 hours is not enough, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, look, speak for yourself.
Yes.
I mean,
Sidon, you have this man's throat. He gestures with his hand, and both the dark elves left in the chamber. She places her wand into her belt. He takes his hands off of his sword. What do you want?
Well, it's quite simple. There's a giant wiggly monster in the castle there. All I want is for me and my friends to safely tot on off back to our filthy surface well. And this just happened to be the only way forward. And you drow, don't tend to listen too well. So I thought I'd bring my old earphone amplifier here just to make sure that my point gets across.
There is no escape from this chamber. You should know this.
Oh, well. So what, you just sort of magicked your way in here, did you?
No. We have arrived from below.
I look over at Iggy. Sounds like he monologuing on the other side again. Give him a minute. He likes this.
You should probably.
Well, look.
No, it's fine. Just give him a minute. Sometimes it's funny.
You should probably. That's fine. Yeah, that's great.
I'm hearing all this in my eyes, like.
No, you're not. You're asleep.
I'm trying to get to sleep.
Yeah.
This is not going well. My eyes are
Angry sleep.
She's
Yeah.
too mad. She's too. You ever get when you're so overtired, you're just angry, you can't get to sleep because you're so mad? This is what's happening right now.
Ray has no idea how that feels. Right?
She's trying to go to sleep out of spite, and it's not working.
He's just staring at the camera, Ray and Kai, and being like, "No, I have no clue how that fucking feels."
It's almost 8:30.
Nice.
Hey, it's a
Sid
reasonable hour.
says, right, listen. You all came here from below, sure. But there are plenty of places below that lead back up. And I'm sure that you all are enterprising little busy bees, and you've dug your way through a whole network of surface areas now. And I'm sure that their hole there connects somewhere real surfacey. What do you say? How accurate am I?
I got some water for you Iggy, in case there's like you feel like early morning, like kind of thrushy.
Oh yeah, thanks.
There you go.
We probably
Yeah,
should
yeah.
save him now. Anytime anytime you think.
Yeah, give me a
monologues,
second. I think. Can I see through this little like collapse?
Oh yeah, the whole
collapsing thing.
the whole panel's collapsed. So from where you are, you can certainly see in.
I really like that Sid's still talking, and he's probably like, and at the very end of his like next sentence, he's like, "I'm running out of things to say," because he can hear us talking behind
Well, I'm just
him.
waiting. Yeah, I'm just listening to the two of them like, it's fine. I mean, I've got this guy. They've all surrendered. I just need to get out. I just want to find out if we can go that way.
Here's the unfortunate thing about merciful. I can't kill someone who surrenders.
That's okay.
I'm not merciful.
Yeah,
I'm
That's
just
the
efficient.
point.
I can't be paid to kill someone I've already
I can't
killed.
back you up. Stop making my thing about you.
All right, the dark elf looks at you. That's all you want, is to escape from Lord Gash and make it to the surface.
Oh, his name is Lord Gash.
There's a horrible and unfortunate name, but yes.
I will have to ask our queen.
Oh, will you now? Well, I'm sure one of your little delivery peons will be able to go and deliver the message for you. Because I'm sure you can imagine, I'm not the most trusting of sort the first thing in the morning before me coffee.
Oh, he said, brought you your coffee.
You step out into the chamber behind him.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you are.
How's it looking? This is horrible in here.
Iris
yes,
is
no.
getting up and just fuming.
She's so mad because no one gave her the attention she wanted to be angry.
And she's so adorable because she's also a pixie. Little
Sprite, actually.
Sorry,
Pixies are the
sorry, my
small
apologies.
ones.
Angry sprite.
Iggy, you notice this device has all of the same runes carved upon it that are in the book.
Oh, sugar tops. They've been. I see the blood on the floor, obviously.
On the walls, the ceiling, them as well.
Cool. Yeah, Iggy doesn't look so good. And then he says, "Oh, they've been. How many people have they killed?" Sid.
I will describe in vivid detail every single individual that was killed during the hour of the observation, including, of course,
that.
I will until you stop me. Yeah, I'll
well, the dark elf jumps in and he says,
Just say a number.
"That's only today."
I don't care that it's gross. I care that it's wasteful of time.
We have been working on this project for at least 3 weeks since we found it.
You've been killing townspeople down here for 3 weeks?
Yes. Sometimes
All
they
right,
die.
Dan.
Sometimes they don't die. Sometimes they disappear.
Yeah, I know what this device is. I understand.
The female drow steps forward. "You will tell us how to operate this device?"
Why would I do that? You
Yeah,
just
we're not
murdered
gonna do that.
hundreds of people.
We would then... you could leave the castle. If you know what this does, then you know what you can do with it.
Of course. But I have to kill, what was his name? Lord Gash? We've already killed one Bane Lord before. What's one more?
You cannot kill Lord Gash. He is extremely powerful.
I'm sure Emperor Vagina is incredibly strong, but
Iggy and Mitch do the same thing. They just put their hand like this
Sid-
and
Sid-
start to
Sid just sort of just looks over, so confused.
and I'll explain weird English by way of Cajun slang later.
You are here to kill Lord Gash.
We're to make this town safe again.
Would you be willing to talk to our queen?
I'm gonna insight the poop out of that.
I will join that.
Iris is probably going to step forward as well, because I was the one who read the note saying that Gash is trying to attempt to induce the Dark Elves to act, which might be their pissing off.
Me. Sorry.
Nice.
It never happens to me, so I was really excited when it did. Twice.
Mark point for you.
Hold on. Also twice.
Sorry, Kai, you were
Let's
saying
switch roles.
you remembered something?
So, well, my character was the one who read the note that said that I just clicked the wrong page. That they wanted the attention drawn to Gash's plan, and he's attempting to induce the Dark Elves to some act, which means he might be pissing them off at this point,
Or, doing bad things to them.
or doing bad things to them.
Right.
So I'm going to say sorry for my compatriot. He can be rather crass, but I found this earlier, and I think it might be something that interests you. So I'll walk halfway between the two of us and put down the note between us with the cloth that I've been using because I didn't want to touch it by my own hand.
The note you found in the Goblin Cave?
Yeah, the one that says that they are attempting to induce the Dark Elves to do some act.
The female drow steps forward. She picks up the note. She reads it, and then she laughs. Lord Gash has been manipulating our queen for several months now. We do not know how, but she is giving us commands. Very strange commands. The man whose throat you have next to your knife blade, Sidon, says, "Do not tell them anything. They do not
So I got
deserve."
an 18 on my empathy check.
She's telling the truth, as a matter of fact.
Okay, with a great success.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Okay.
Well, funny thing is, we might know exactly how Lord Gag is manipulating folks. I look over at Iggy and
Oh, yeah. And I pull out the jar full of the worms.
The female looks at it
I need some time with this, but maybe I can have a counter reagent that might stop whatever's happening.
Look, long story short, these little tadpoles are drilling into people and making them do things, going all and stuff. It's terrifying things, but this is, from what I can understand, one with Lord Gash's flesh, and when consumed or possessed of a person, can make them see and do all kinds of horrible things.
The other problem is we notice that there's a change in the water from the well. It descends all the way down from the top of our city that might be running through the Drow lands, which also means your people might be being poisoned as well.
Or maybe they were doing it.
I was also just looking around during this whole conversation. I'm sure Sid's going to respond to this in some way or another. There's blood from innocent townspeople all over this room. I don't care what President Axewound wants.
My concern is if we go to the Queen and she's playing into the Bane Lord's hands, or she's been possessed by them, she's not going to help us.
No. Murdering the townspeople.
Yeah,
They have murdered a lot of
voluntary.
townspeople.
Well, they had the earwigs.
Yeah. So ultimately, your device is sitting at the feet of Lord Gash himself. If we free these people who are wrongly enslaved by their, autocratic society, perhaps they may assist us in defeating this second Bane Lord. We've already killed one. What's another one?
There could be a third, for all we know, that's running in with the Dark Elves as
Maybe.
well.
Well, I don't know.
So in addition to the, blood of the townsfolk and all that, they've shot both me and Iris. Multiple times, in fact. You want to readily trust these Dark Elves to help us kill a Bane Lord?
Look, if Lord Nash, before you realized he was a Bane Lord,
Yeah.
gave you, before you knew he was a Bane Lord, gave you a direct order to go and attack them because they did something wrong, you would do so because you believed they were in the wrong. On the other hand, if the Queen is in the same position and tells them, hey, the Earth Dwellers are coming down here and they're doing something wrong, kill them on sight, they would do the same thing. These are warriors and pawns to higher powers who don't get a say.
Who
If they
are
don't
currently
do-
getting... But they're being manipulated by Lord Gash, meaning that we're walking straight into Lord Gash's minions, whether or
But
not
it's
they're...
Tamsarai, we are meant to help all peoples of all different cities.
We are.
You are Tamsarai.
Yeah.
Yes, we are Tamsarai. We've already killed
we
the Bane
have
Lord
the
upstairs.
time to be
I'll
all
produce
about
the
this?
Bane Lord's heart in my hand with the cloth, saying, we've taken care of one. We're trying to help everyone. I would love to help your queen, because you people, as far as I know, haven't ever caused a problem to the Earth Dweller, or the upstairs dwellers.
There might be a wereguild involved, but we'll figure that out later. I'm going to go put down the jar and do some research.
Who's second in command of the Queen? If the Queen has been compromised, who else
I'm sure
is
they'll
there?
figure it out. They'll let you know.
Might I summon the Queen?
Oh, she's here?
She's not far. She is directing all of the operations that are being conducted here. The water is one of the acts that we are doing. We are
Right.
adding a purification liquid to the water. It is in an attempt to ensure that the drow do not get poisoned.
Ooh,
There
I
You got
have-
any
I
more of
have
that?
water.
We could
I have
use some of that purification.
I'm gonna-
Well, it's not
Yes.
working if people are drinking from the well and they're still being possessed.
I think it's because they're drinking from the well and then eating those filthy biscuits.
That might be why they're
No, but if-
continuously. If they ate one worm, they wouldn't need to keep eating them. That's a fair point. So if they're constantly being purified, then they're constantly having to be fed the worms again.
Before we summon her, I would this is out of character. I'd recommend that we find a reagent to deal with the worm in her head before we do anything. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
that there might be
probably.
so I'm gonna do that while I help Buckles out. I'm
Look,
gonna sit down with
okay,
my
so-
alchemy kit and I'm gonna research the worms here.
I'm gonna ask them what they know about what's happening topside.
All right.
I'm going to continue holding this guy's
I'm
throat.
trying-
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
just
I
stand near Sid
appreciate
going,
how enthusiastic everyone's
they
been,
killed
but
3 weeks worth of people.
they did.
And these guys aren't wormy. They just chose to do that.
All right, so whilst...
It's not a moral situation here. It's not a moral high ground for the Dark Elves in any way.
Nope. I agree with Ray for once.
Yeah, this is... And that Nuremberg defense they're trying to use, like, our queen told us to. Yes, sorry. 3 weeks is a long time to be murdering innocent people.
Are we the baddies?
They were voluntary.
Yeah, again, yeah. You still operated the machine. Eat me.
As a matter of fact, they operated the machine. This is an incredibly dangerous device. That is why we have needed so many supplicants. But we have catalogued at least 5 of the different locations that this machine will transport you to. With regards to what do we know of the surfaces, that is not my purview. I am but a lowly lieutenant within our glorious structure. What I can tell you is this. There have been numerous expeditions to uncover forgotten human artifacts. Artifacts which will be used against the Imperial Dark Elves in the future, such as this one, for example. I know my colleagues have been working elsewhere. There is a sealed tomb, for example, which they were attempting to access, and then surfacers came down, murdered several hundred Dark Elves before sealing the entire structure. That was a setback for our people, of course.
That wasn't us. That's several hundred. That wasn't us. We were like 5 people.
We told them where they might have brought the army from the city, though. How long ago was this?
Not from this city.
It was not long ago. The report came in a few days ago, I believe.
Oops.
That's concerning.
Ray tried to talk to them at first.
Iris is
is
feeling guilty because she said that would happen. She straight up said that could happen. They could be innocent in this, and
they have murdered townsfolk for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think innocent features into this.
And we just murdered 700 Dark Elves.
No, several hundred.
Several hundred soldiers.
No, I thought Guy said several hundred.
Yeah, also good point. Several hundred soldiers.
Guy said 700 soldiers.
Soldiers.
I think our duty here, we need to really narrow our scope of practice here. Our scope of practice is not to deal with the politics between, Dark Elves and our upper society. Our purview is to kill Bane Lords. This is what we're supposed to do. And this is all I care about. So if
I'm not going to try to save
Dark
the
Elves
entire
to help
race of
us,
people.
I don't really care. I mean, I care that people die, and I don't want them to, but I can't. I'm doing an alchemy check while this is happening.
Right.
I don't know what that would be.
An alchemy check, if you please. Give me a nature check. Do we have nature? We don't have nature. What do we have?
Artisan?
Give you a solid lore check, though.
Or tinker?
Evaluate?
Yeah, evaluate's the commercial side. Tinker is
Investigation?
Investigation. Let's go with that one.
I love it, because I'm also trained in that. Is that wits?
Investigation, this would be insight, not wits.
Come on, man.
You can't have it both ways.
16.
16? All right, on a 16, you're looking at these little wormy things, and you realize that the soup that they're in, the liquid that Sid captured them in, has the same viscosity as the water from the well that you originally drew. You suspect that the water might very well be acting as a nutrient source for these little wormy things, and that if they don't get enough of it, they quite possibly will die or desiccate, basically.
And that's it. And they're in a human host. I don't have probably enough research for this, but can I make a logical leap here and say, if they're in the human host, do they still need a constant supply of this water?
They do.
Or are they
I think, because from your examination, they have very small mouths, but this looks more like an evolutionary stage or a metamorphic stage, and
like a pupa.
Almost like a pupa, yeah. Yeah, you think the mouth is more for defense than anything else, not for
Oh,
gathering
good. They're
nutrients.
chest bursters.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's
Yummy.
here's what I found, dark elves, and my friends. So the water that you have been creating is actually supplying nutrients to these worms, keeping them alive. I suspect that this is the early stages of their lifespan. So as they kind of grow with the nutrients of the water, they get stronger and then, do things that are probably not very good. I don't really know that yet.
But why would our queen enforce this? We don't care about these services.
I don't know. I would assume that
Because
she's
your
infected.
queen has one of the bugs in her brain.
Yeah.
That's what the note says, is that the Bane Lords are working on attempting that the Dark Elves would do stuff here. The Bane Lords influence people, even the highest of lords and queens. We're saying that they might be influencing your queen to cause problems upstairs while they wreck upstairs. They're using both the city and the Dark Elves
against each other. Is there a way, out of character, is there a way that I can neutralize this? Like, is there a way that I can short circuit the worm if she is infected, on one person only, using arcane means or something just slap the worm psychically or something like that one time?
You doubt that the worm
Can you dunk
has
salt on it?
Well, you suspect, of course, you could definitely desiccate it by changing the host's chemical structure by getting them to drink salt water, for example.
I was just ask because I would have nature that I know, like slugs and things like that, and others of this type thing. They can't handle salt.
Yeah.
What if we gave her salt water? Can I?
Well,
would that work? Do I have?
There's
do
a
you
blood
have?
brain barrier, but that's whatever. But it's magic.
Sit
Don't
on.
worry
Sit
Yeah, it's
on.
magic.
Do you have salt in your backpack?
about it. It's magic. Don't
Bags
worry
of
about
salt. What kind of chef goes around without salt?
Can I
even
borrow
I
it?
carry salt in my backpack.
Well, I guess.
May I borrow it? And
Well,
I
you'd
hand
have to
you.
get it because I still have a knife to this guy.
Yes.
Fine. And which pocket is it in? Don't tell me it's the front one.
Well, then you're going to be very disappointed where I'm about to tell you go.
Hey, I've got salt. There you go.
Thank you, Ray.
it. I'm gonna. Hand
Also, I'm
this-
gonna disarm the guy he's got the knife to.
Sure.
I'm just gonna take all of his weapons and just kind of toss him into that little alcove that we came out of.
I think
Gotcha.
we're on the same page.
I think
here,
we're
guys.
good now.
Yeah. Well,
I-
yeah, we can
I
release
think
them.
I think
Yeah.
I mean-
they are realizing there's a problem too.
Okay. I make the concoction.
I don't
quickly
know.
and
I want to hear this fella. I mean, we're getting pretty close and pretty cozy here. But this fella here seems to be all, don't tell them stuff. And, oh, the queen. I don't know. I mean, the other two I kind of get. I see that the missus. The other guards also been relatively quiet as well.
Hang on.
Look,
he
You're
has a
also
point.
acting as an enemy with a knife to his throat.
he
That
has-
doesn't exactly inspire trust.
Just give me 1 second.
What
Here,
part of you makes me think that I want them to trust me? I want them to fear me.
What's that, Iggy? How about you talk?
drink this. I offer it to the guy with the knife to the throat. It's not poison. It's just salt water.
I'll like move the knife just enough away so that he can drink comfortably.
He looks at it, and then the drow female, she says, "Just drink it. They're not. If they were going to kill you, they would have killed you already, unless they are truly sadistic. And then know that you will be avenged, my brother." He takes a sip of the liquid, and his face sort of wrinkles up. This
Yeah, it's
is
all water.
disgusting surface, sir. It tastes like stalagmite soup.
Okay. I hand you two drink this, and I hand the cup to them.
We don't know if it would actually work on the worms in the brain. Should we test it on the vial first?
Yeah, we know it works on the vial. I just want to see if any of them are infected.
Are we sure it would work on the vial?
Well, like that was based on my alchemical check and your thought
Yeah.
process, but I'll give it a run.
Sure.
And I'll try to kill one worm with it.
Oh,
You don't know
remember the
how
salt
much-
comes into contact with the worm, it literally just, it almost inverts itself and explodes in a little ooze.
We're good. Drink this, and I hand it to the other two.
Sorry, I know it's disgusting.
Before the female drinks it, she stops and she says, "How do we know it won't kill the hosts when this creature dies?"
No idea. Drink up.
No idea.
She looks at you, Ray.
You kill townspeople.
Yeah, for 3 weeks. I'm not interested in being polite to them.
I look at her like,
Again.
why? Are you infected?
There's no like this long, drawn-out moral argument of like who's mean to who during a war.
She takes a
3
giant
weeks
gulp
of murder.
and she actually gags at the salt water because it's so salty.
Yeah.
But she swallows and holds it down and then looks at you. I don't think that our people are infected. The orders from the top are the strange things, not the orders from those that serve.
You have to check, because you can't know. Those guards acted really normal until we kicked them in the nuts a bunch of times and they screamed. Don't ask.
Yeah, everything was acting and looking normal until we investigated further. So we don't know who's infected, who's not.
Can I, if do I think adjustion will work, or do I have to get eyedroppers out?
You suspect that each subject needs to have probably about at least 2 or 3 sips worth of liquid, and you think it does need to be ingested.
Okay, cool. So also, I hand it back to the dude and make sure he drinks enough. Everyone's drinking enough of this stuff before we trust anybody.
Yeah.
I'll do it just to show I'm trustworthy to them and showing them that I have the same respect for them, because I'm not human. I respect my dark elven kind and nature.
I'm not drinking it because I'm not going to impress them.
More than the humans.
Okay.
I'm not kissing no drow, no Daka if I'm behind. But if we want people who we know are infected, well, look, these fellas have been dragging in volunteer townsfolk. What if we get them to drag in another set and then use it on them?
I like it.
Different room though, not Spinny Axe Death Room.
Look, let's be honest here. We have 2 choices. We have Spinny Axe Death Room or the room we came from.
That sounds way better than Spinny Axe Death Room, like any other room.
Okay, well, yeah.
Can we?
Let's try.
Where are you getting these villagers from? Are you just going topside and grabbing them, or like?
She, the female drow steps forward. She says, "My name is Vulgaria, and I think before we bring in any of these human volunteers," and she looks directly at you, Ray. If their drinking of the water causes this creature to die within them and they themselves perish, do you understand the situation you are placing yourself in, my moral friend? You are using volunteers to determine the outcome of an object to save your people that may result in their death.
I'll look at Bulgari
is the
and I said,
equivalency argument.
I'll be like,
I
I've already
understand what
done
you
this.
mean, but so 3 weeks of murder is the same thing as getting someone to take a sippy cup and hoping for the best. Yeah, it's absolutely correct. Bring in the people. I'm nothing like you. You sicken me in every possible way.
Me, I'm just jealous. Why can't I kill 3 weeks worth of people? Oh no, Sid. Can't be left alone for 10 minutes, Sid. Can't just eviscerate the drow, Sid. Can't bury them under a big ballista, Sid.
She nods, and the guard who's been quiet at the far end of the room, he...
Does he had a sippy cup too,
He
right?
did.
We made them all drink.
Okay, we made them all. We're good.
He heads into the cave and disappears down the passageway. As he's leaving, Vulgaria says to him, and not a word to any of the others about this. This is more serious than any of us could possibly know. He nods and leaves. She looks back at you. Don't worry. He is trustworthy. He will follow the orders I have given him.
I nudge Ray.
Does he? I'm just like kind of whirling the boar spear in the hand, just spinning it on its top.
So, Vulgari.
Found this. This is one of y'all.
The good news about testing it on a villager, though, is that if we find out that the host dies that also has the worms, we're going to have to find another solution, because if we just straight up gave salt water to the queen, well, we be inciting a war between the two races and destroying your leader. We need to come up with a safer solution if this does not work to help your people.
Actually, I've been looking at.
Do you mean winning a war in one move? Because I'm not super upset about that.
I actually have a solution to this. I've thought of something.
Not only did we start the war, we finished it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Boom goes the queen. There's no downside here.
Take the queen.
Yeah.
Guy, yeah.
There's always someone who could take over like an heir or something. They'll just incite a larger war, and they would then have rights to be angry with us because we killed their queen.
Scope of practice.
What are they going to do? DeWarden all over us, being all emo?
Scope of practice. We're only here to kill Banelords. We're not here to solve all the world's problems.
I came from Titania's court.
I would like to take a moment to say that
I feel like she said I came from
so we
Titania's
could
court
get back
multiple
into
times.
town. That's
Titania's
all I did.
heart.
I didn't want any of this politics stuff or this queen nonsense. I just wanted to get out of the castle. That's why this guy has a knife to his throat. Nothing else. Till you lot showed up with your investigations and whatnots and. No, sorry, I just needed a moment. All right, it's been a long morning. I've seen a lot of people.
Sid, real quick,
chopped up by this thing.
And I'm gonna aim my boar spear at the guy's neck. You take a little walk, just a little break, and just like rest your arms. You've been standing there for a
thank you.
minute. There you go.
That's
I got
considerate. Why can't you threaten someone for me? I point at Iggy and
He's like,
Iris.
with what?
And just-
You have to be intimidating to threaten someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll go straight by.
Iggy, you were saying something?
Yeah. Listen, I whatever. Like if we could, I've learned something while I was sleeping that can affect the weave. I can heal someone by touching them, replace wounds and stuff like that. Don't ask me how I figured that out. I just thought that maybe I should learn other secrets. The brain is weird.
That was my favorite sentence you've ever said. I learned something while sleeping that can affect the weave. I was like, that's an entire trip right there.
Yeah. So I've been places in my sleep. So I was doing hard math. I might be able to combine the salt water with a healing spell, and that might be able to dissuade death if
Perhaps
it does come to
might
that.
be enough to keep the host alive whilst the creature is being destroyed.
Oh, that's smart.
So I was
And
thinking,
here's Ray and Sid on doing push-ups like chumps to get better.
I just sleep.
Try to sleep a lot.
I was full of many holes. I had to rest so they would stop.
I brought
being
you
holes.
both back from the dead, so
You are very helpful.
Iris?
I would die.
I was wondering if I can use my special ability called Soul Wise, where can I make an empathy test to find out what their strongest goals and heart's desires are, so I can make sure that it's not to have a full-out war, it's just they want to do what they're ordered to, or
Sure, go for it.
I'm so hoping it comes back. Yeah, you're looking at Germany, 1939 era.
9,
Oh boy.
Motivation
11.
starts in
I'm
Austria,
definitely-
goes a little further.
Empathy is empathy wits, resolve, insight,
This is insight.
Empathy. Yeah, empathy is insight.
Yeah.
and 15.
You think she is incredibly loyal to the Dark Elf Empire, and that loyalty blinds her morality. Very much so. But at the same time, the loyalty is to the Empire, not to the Queen. So it's to the idea of the Empire. And if something is threatening that way of life for her, she will do anything she can to preserve it. That much you are absolutely certain. Right. So her deceptions would be only, and she will deceive you, but it would only be if it was in the interest of protecting the Empire.
For people. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Do you share this with us or?
Nope.
Okay.
A few moments later, a human is brought in, shuffling behind the Stark Elf.
If any of them move towards that human, I'm going to start getting real close to that guy's neck.
Oh,
with a boar spear.
no. Vulgaria steps back with this bemused look upon her face, watching you, Ray.
Yeah, she's the first year. Look, sorry, I'm not going to swear. I went through this in college too. Skeptics.
I'm gonna.
I took philosophy courses as well. Thanks.
Look, we have literally a serial killer who eats people. Like,
Yeah.
Scope of practice, guys. Just we gotta keep that in mind. I'm gonna go up to the person. I'm like,
Yes.
Drink this,
Okay.
and I'm gonna get ready with a healing spell if I need.
Take the mug. They down the whole mug.
Whoops.
They don't react. At the end of it, they go, "That tasted very good. Do you have any more? I'm still quite hot." And then they drop to their knees and they kind of clutch their head. And they start to heave and retch. And then this great big blob of white ooze spills out of them. You recognize the same liquid as the liquid the worm slugs were kept in. Iggy, your brain quickly figures out that possibly they drink the water from the well and it actually sits in their stomach like a little reserve that the worm can pull from to survive. Perhaps that's why they had such a great amount of it in there. And then they really start screaming and they fall onto their side, again clutching their head.
I'm just gonna go ahead and just fix this problem right now.
Yeah, do the healing maybe.
Ooh, I crushed that.
Nice.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not healing the worm?
We'll find out in about 5 seconds or less than that. Yeah, he's healed 3 hit points.
All right. As you do that, he sort of convulses once, and then making its way out of his nose is one of these worms, but it's about a good 15 to 20 centimeters in length.
It's like a tapeworm.
Much bigger than you've seen before in the little jars and things. And that sort of writhes around on the floor, and it looks as if it's trying to keep itself moist inside that white mucus that the human has already sort of spat out. Do you do anything?
Steppy!
Salted.
Kill the nose one with your salt magic.
Yeah, you throw salt upon it, sit on steps on it.
I'm not that steak guy.
That's what Michael was
It
doing.
is dead. It is dead. The salt causes the white liquid, by the way, to immediately turn transparent as the salt hits it.
Did we just invent plastic?
When it gets clear, does it take on the viscosity of regular water?
It does seem to, although it's now a salty mucus-based water. It's still very slimy, but yeah, it looks as if it's lost some of its properties.
How about the dude?
The human stops screaming and for a moment is absolutely silent, then looks up at all of you, looks at the dark elves and sort of scrabbles back against the wall. No, don't.
No, it's all right. You're safe. Don't you move, Mr. Dark Elf Man. You're safe now. It's okay. You had a worm in your mind.
Are you hungry?
I'm ravenous. I could eat.
Okay, come with me. And I try to help him up, and we're gonna take him to the hardtack.
He walks over to the hardtack. He starts shoving biscuits into his mouth.
I pull out a sandwich as he goes up the stairs. I'm like, all right.
Don't
Chef,
accept food from
cooking
him.
kit, 18 days of rations. It's fine.
It's fine. Give him a biscuit. He seems to wolf down the biscuit. Meanwhile,
I try to keep him not dying from that.
Right. Yes, he doesn't overeat. Vulgaria looks at you. So it appears you have a working solution to this problem of ours.
Yep.
I don't know what is going on above. And the last time Lord Gash came down here, which was a few hours ago, he was demanding the report on how far we have managed to progress this device. He will be returning, I am sure, in a small while to mark progress. And to get to our queen will take us a good day's journey. But I wonder if perhaps that is best use of your time. If you are Tam Sarai, as you have said, then perhaps I take this liquid to our queen, clear her mind, and at the very least then we will withdraw from all of these territories. Part of what I said when I say the queen is acting strange, we do not come this high up. It is very thin up here. There are many creatures we do not enjoy encountering. These artifacts are old and mostly cause more damage than they actually provide useful output. But the Queen would not listen. She was emphatic. If she is cured of this, I am fairly certain she will withdraw troops.
But it might not be the worm.
No,
and
no.
I mentioned, like, the mage, the lady that we found them impersonating.
Yeah.
Oh, so you said this liquid like you've never seen salt water. Come on, there's underground lakes.
Yes, to make this is easy.
Good,
It is
okay.
alkaline. We have this. This is not problem.
Yeah.
But
Feed
you've
it to
been
your
dumping
queen,
them.
tell 'em.
So let me ask you a question. Actually, could I do two things? I actually thought of two things that might be smart here. One is that device. Can it teleport down? Is there do they have connections to the Dark Elf lands?
You, having very briefly glanced over those notes, it has coordinates to locations. But you haven't yet determined where those locations are or how far or if the device even still works.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to ask that. The second thing, I look at you because you're the one who has or look at Ray. I look at one of you because you guys know people. I am very confused about if I trust this lady or not to do
Proficient in
the job.
empathy. Literally, it's part of my background. I read people.
Do we do the thing she's saying, essentially?
Yeah, I'll look it up. I got what's the 2 5s? 2 5s is good success?
Yeah, great success.
Great success.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no light or dark fate points. It's 15.
15. You believe that what she's saying she will actually do. If this will save her queen and will get them to leave the surface, her disgust is quite genuine. Definitely. She does not like being up here. And they certainly do have alkaline pools that basically have lots of mineral salts in them, which will do the same thing. So you believe that she would go down and do her best to cause this to happen. Whether the queen will drink the liquid or not, that's a different story. I mean,
Yeah.
she is just a lowly research mage. But at the same time, the idea of going into the underground and trying to force a queen to drink liquid, as the Tam Sarai, you might get an audience, but if she is under the control of a Bane Lord, she would probably deny you on a whole bunch of reasons.
Yeah, I don't want to go down there.
I don't want to go
I
down
don't want to go down there anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
I
listen,
have a few ideas that we could propose, though, on the way for you to go back to your people. Maybe talk to, in case something happens, the queen doesn't want to gain an audience with a researcher. I would go to someone who's more second in command.
That sounds like their problem.
It is, but on the way
Yes.
there, there's other peons that are putting the viscosity liquid in the water well here that's providing for the worms. Could we stop that operation? Though
I got an idea for that one. We just got
Yeah.
a big old salt lick.
I absolutely agree with Ray. I think what we need to do is allow this drow to go and try her best to get the queen on side, and if she does, maybe they come help, or at the very least they piss off. Secondly, is we do what Ray suggested. We get a big bag of salt, we dump it into the well. That way, hopefully, it'll start struggling and start at least killing out some of the people and the worms in their head. And if salt has such an effect on the worms, maybe we can use it against Lord Gash himself. Perhaps just, cover the bugger in salt and see what happens.
Yeah, sprinkle them up. Like
But
Fist Bump said.
my second thought is that he's coming for the research support like they have. Can we tamper and switch their results so that Lord Gash doesn't get it?
Yeah, I can do that. But that's
Why not
not
just
my
kill him?
main. We are going to.
I haven't slept. I have no magic. And if you recall last time, I was very helpful in the last fight.
Yes, you are.
So
That's
I
true.
need a nap.
Go take
Yeah, but
one right now.
he's not going to be here today.
He's
They
gonna
said
be-
he'll be here soon.
short while. He's what
He
they
did say
said.
it's a short while.
So I would tamper with the results so they can't get it.
Okay.
And then let me have a nap. And then we can go deal with Gash and the salt. And we think we should send a message off in case we all die. 2 people in the city.
3 things. 1, your queen. This worm that emerged from that fellow that's eating the hardtack is much longer she's been like this for months?
Yes, this is correct.
I don't know how big these things get and what happens when they get fully grown.
It strikes me that they would never get to the point where they would destroy host.
They might get to the point where they replace the whole frontal. Do I know about that? Yeah, he's smart. Frontal lobe, meaning she can't think anymore.
It could be that it's keeping her alive. Like she might already be dead for all we know.
I'm just preparing you for that inevitability. The other thing too, it occurs to me that you have what would Ray say? Skin in the game, as it were. You might be willing to set up an ambush for this Lord Gash with us. Sir, send one messenger down.
You mean you want us to help you to destroy Lord Gash?
If he's also helping manipulate your
queen. You guys don't like him very much, so.
I do not like him, but he is in alliance with our queen. While she has declared that he is working with us and we are to obey his orders, that would be a direct violation of what we have sworn to do.
I understand.
And should this all prove to be an elaborate hoax of usurpers in an attempt to destabilize what is a legitimate queen, then we would be traitors to our own.
Look at me now. Do I look smart enough to try that?
She gives you a nod, and she looks at the at everybody else. We will not alert Lord Gash, and we can give him false information for now. But until it has been proven that our queen is infected, we will not help you kill him.
Fine, but at least send him here. So bring him here saying you have a
arrive here today to get a report on our results.
Perfect. And the last thing too, if we salt that whole water well, we're going to have a problem with, well, depending on how much salt content there is, we're going to have a problem with dehydration in the city. So we might have to figure something out.
It's snowing outside. We can literally
start don't forget, as soon as they get the worms gone, they can actually leave the town because the poison will no longer kill them when they leave the city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you.
A few swallows ain't gonna kill a starving person.
I'm just worried. That's all.
Yeah, no, you got good worries there. But listen,
you're doing the thing.
Lord Gash is on his way.
Yeah.
We should prepare a big salt. We should do the Home Alone thing where he opens the door and like a big bucket of salt water just falls on his head.
Got it.
Wait, does anyone have needles? We'll just inject it into his bloodstream.
No, I don't think hypodermic needles exist.
No.
It's okay. I can just cover flute.
I would warn.
That's true. Oil up your. That's nice.
I would also warn Bulgari that she might not be possessed by worms. She might be fully being impersonated. The queen might be fully impersonated by a Bane Lord, as the Magus upstairs was. We found her body in a bookshelf, and they looked exactly like her until she dropped her form. There is a possibility that the queen might already be dead, and it might be a Bane Lord. There's two possibilities here.
Okay, well, that's their problem.
I know it's their problem, but
that's not a way you can contact
if their problem becomes our problem, they're affecting the cities. Their problem is part of our problem.
I know, but we're talking a lot when stuff needs to get done real quick. Lord's coming.
You just is there like a psychic number? She's like 111 Iggy or something like that. She can draw me a line or something.
You have Hotmail.
Do you have like an email or
be able to contact?
What are your digits?
Yeah, we need to be able to contact each other.
You have a stand-in stone?
She
nice throwaway one.
Reaches into her pocket and pulls out the smooth black stone.
There it is.
And she says, I will approach our own Tamsarai. I know our operative. The Dark. Nardark is very trustworthy person, very respected for their work they do. They have been redirected to distant part of our territory. I suspect now I know why. I will contact Nardarak. He will return and will listen to what I have to say. I would suggest, since you sound fatigued, that perhaps we allow Lord Gosh to return this moment, give him our report that we have not yet made suitable advancements. Then he will return tomorrow. This is a routine he has been following for the past 2.5 weeks. That will give you time. I did not even know about that wall, she says, looking at the hole that you guys have been stepping through. And I have been here for 2.5 weeks. I was not looking for wall. Door.
Wouldn't he see this giant hole when he comes in next?
I can make my... Wait.
Just stand in front of it.
Look, we can just put a cloth over it, right? It's not just that's just so little part. But listen,
don't look behind this tapestry. Everything's fine.
If this is if
there
this
is a tapestry in the room, as a matter of
just
fact.
like literally pin it over. That's.
I'm gonna walk over and go get the tapestry, hang it.
But doesn't that mean that we'll have to kind of hold off on salting the well until after he leaves? Otherwise, he'll be onto something if he knows that there's some free humans running around.
Yeah, well, you need a signal to know when he's gone.
Yeah. All right, tell you what.
Also, if you bring another person, I don't care if he's here and doing it. Another person's not coming in this room. No more axe spinning to show him it doesn't work. You find a way to make it sound like it's broken.
I believe we can agree to that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look. In the meantime, let's hide out in the city. When Lord Gash has come, had his inspection, and nicked off, you can put a lantern or something up in one of the upper windows, the one where we originally found the first Bane Lord. We see a light in that window. We know that the Bane Lord.
I've never been above this room.
I think we should rest down here. It would be dangerous to go up through the city.
The stone will allow us to communicate directly with one another.
And Lord Gash is coming here. I can't stress that enough. He's on his way, like right now. Coming soon was the operative word. We need to get going now.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Also, are you there? Just in case. If we see each other again, I will kill you.
Don't worry. I will be the one doing the killing. Human.
You didn't plan that sentence before you said it.
Oh my god, yes, both of you hate each other. Oh my gosh.
Well, you can go hug him then. Jesus, I'm out of here. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you and your questions and you and your investigations and you and your... Well, no, actually, you're okay for me right now. I've actually liked you since you've had a concussion. But I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here.
A respectful way of leaving, like shaking their hands or something. Like
he hits his head real hard. And you guys are like, we're friends now.
I like to step over the axe. Like I'm just walk over, just get over this goddamn death machine. I'm sick of this room.
Are you going back up into the secret room?
No, I'll go out the regular door, because if Lord Gash isn't here, then he's not here, right?
He's on the way down here.
Yeah, I'm going secret rooming.
I'm secret rooming, and I'm going to take the black stone with me. Sidon's going to get himself killed.
All right. Ray?
I'm going to go secret room so I can stand watch over Iris so that she can finally get some sleep and stop being a little hangry.
I didn't get to eat. I didn't get coffee. I didn't get shit when I woke up.
Yep.
Just seeing what I'm trying
to... Let's just no one check the barrels.
Are you going to the secret room, Iggy?
Sid's already all the way over there, though.
He can just walk back.
I'm fine.
Sid is going to step out this door.
I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna yell through it. Sid, get in the secret room. We need to wait. Come on now.
Sid.
I'll open it from the other side. You have your tantrum later.
I'm sorry that all those people died.
It's fine. You needed to sleep.
But
I wanted to kill them.
Your word means something. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. And I know that it was hard for you to not do it.
He literally told me he was going to stay in the room, and that he didn't, so he didn't keep his word.
Yeah, but you're not there for this conversation. So
you're right outside the door.
Yeah, you're not there for this at all.
And I actually said very specifically that I wouldn't do anything until someone woke up.
Someone meaning me.
Hey,
I told you I need to sleep.
You're not there. Yeah. All right, so Sid, you're going to
I'll go back. I'll go back.
I have put Iris in a rear naked choke so she passes out.
I will go back.
Just like scrappy thing.
The elves do
back
their
about 2 seconds later, gone.
Yeah.
the dark elves do their
Like a
best to hang
cat.
the curtain so that it hides the damage to the
So
whole thing.
I want to also throw out a little side thing, and this comes down to what the others will do. Every single day that Sid has been traveling with everyone, he has prepared breakfast, lunch, and dinner of a culinary skill, which, as I've been told before, no one has ever eaten. But he has done this every single day.
You've
So there
certainly
is
had
in a
time to be
barrel-
offended by it, so that's good.
He's got plenty of time to feel offended by it, but he'll still do it because he said he would. So in the barrels is some like little ham and cheese toasties with some like egg.
Oh, I
Okay.
do love a good
I
toast.
look.
Where are you
I
getting
look
all
at-
this from?
I look at you, and I say,
of course.
because we had that conversation. I say, "Do you give me your word? There's no people flesh in here, or people things, or people anything in here."
Look, people flesh is ghoul food. If you guys started eating it, then what'd be left for us?
That you didn't answer my question.
No, there's no people in it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that was decidedly a non-answer.
Yeah.
That was an
That's like a-
evasive answer.
a yes or no question, and that
I'm
was
gonna go off on a
first time
monologue about a
ever.
topic to not answer the question. Yeah, I'm not trusting that sandwich.
For the first time ever, I eat your culinary food because I trust you enough that you don't lie to me.
Iris, do you eat a preferred
I'm having
sandwich?
a nap. He choked me out. I
Yeah.
passed out over his arm.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I just got like fireman carry on the back.
All
He's
right.
just like pushing me into that, like, eat. You're gonna be.
As you are all gathered around these sandwiches, which made me very hungry.
I'm eating the heart attack. I'm not
Wait,
eating-
hold on. So,
Yeah.
so each sandwich is a freshly cut thick slice of bread with a special Parmesan butter placed on the top, sprinkled
kind
with
of
slightly
feel like-
toasted rosemary.
This is what's inside Sidon's head, is what he would
Yeah.
plan. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hardtack
what's going-
with hardtack on top of hardtack.
But beautiful. And
Yeah,
like
it's a
little
trip-tack
feta.
sandwich.
I'm vegetarian.
Because I have a full cooking.
Yeah,
Set,
it's the
like,
cooking
thing.
fire and the various other bits and
Yeah, you don't have
bobs
like the Porto spice rack. It's not going to go well.
I have a tinderbox and I have a
That's matches.
a small
Yeah, that's matches.
enclosed space. Yes.
yeah, smoking it
Nonetheless,
out.
the intention.
Yeah, please
is
don't
definitely
cook in
there.
here if we want to keep this place
Exactly.
secret.
We just
wanna-
die of a
We
food.
just-
End of campaign. Thanks, everyone.
Why is that tapestry flaming?
Nonetheless, as you
Where's
are
the
all
tapestry delicious?
as you are quietly settling down to allow Iris to get her sleep, you hear the drow talking rather loudly. We have not made any progress, Lord Gash. I am very sorry. And then something else, and it sounds like then Lord Gash speaking, and he says, I want one of you to activate the device now.
Good.
And we'll be back next week. As,
Oh no!
we
Yeah.
continue the
My
story.
friend!
Your friends, the mass murderers.
No.
We just sent
That's okay.
700 of them to their death by letting that other guy take care
700
of it.
warriors.
No, I
Okay,
think I figured it out. I think I figured it out. The reason why Iris is so
So
invested
one
in the
doesn't
drow-
justify another.
Well, no, because I was going to say
Definitely not.
because the dark elves are the only other thing that have killed innocent people as well as Iris.
Oh.
That's
Oh, my
true.
goodness.
All I did
All right.
was choke slam a small girl. So I'm fine.
Right?
Orally,
And we
I'm on
thought
the
that
high
was going to
ground.
be bad. It's just been getting worse and worse. and worse.
0.5 of a point for the non-dead.
There
Call
we
it
go.
half a point.
Next
Anyway.
time you fall below 0, you can try to survive yourself.
I'll heal you. I'll heal you. Don't worry about it. I'll heal you.
I'll contact you when I fall below 20.
Oh my goodness. Thanks to Talisman Adventures from Pegasus Spieler for providing this fantastically happy family of adventurers and adventure platform in which to play. So, yeah, thank you to you guys for playing today. Very different from last week's episode, I think, and hopefully you had fun.
Yeah,
That was
concussion
awesome.
ray is much more fun to play.
Concussion
playing
was
like he has a
awesome.
concussion.
I thought, I loved how you embodied Ray during that. That was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll see you again next week from us. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.